Are you aware of these 5 common mistakes in real estate negotiations? Hey, it's Carrie Flatley here, Associate Broker at RE/MAX Real Estate Lethbridge and Carrie Flatley Associates. So I don't need to say it, but I always say it. It's spring, late spring 2025. The market continues to burn hot in Alberta, but particularly in Lethbridge. If you're shopping for a home right now, it's a little bit of a challenge because we don't have a lot of inventory. That being said, buyers and sellers seem to be in a little bit of a hurry right now, and it's causing a lot of oversights, negligence, and mistakes in real estate contract negotiations. And so I want to talk about that and help you be more prepared going into that negotiation. Know what to look for, because in the end, you're going to be signing on the dotted line on a 6-page contract that is legally binding. So, the first big mistake I'm seeing is no due diligence on the property. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not just talking about investors calling in, phoning it in from Ontario, wanting to buy an investment property sight unseen in Lethbridge. That does happen. What I'm talking about is the buyer and the realtor should be spending time inside and outside of the property before writing the offer so that the buyer fully understands. You need to fully understand, to the best of your ability, what you are about to offer on. Remember, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're going to be signing a contract for such. And you could be living in this home for a very long time. So yes, you want a good look on the inside of the property, but you also should be walking the property front to back, side to side, outside. So around the property line or the indicated property line if there's a fence, taking a look at the structures outside, understanding the maintenance required, and understanding implications for the real property report, which, wow, nobody is doing their diligence on this, but the real property report, which is your survey and attached compliance letter from the city, are what the lawyers are going to review with you right before closing, right before you spend all that money. And wouldn't you like to have an understanding of what's on that real property report before you make an offer? Okay. You want to look for red flags around compliance. Maybe there's a really big shed sitting on the property line. Understand that that shed is not in compliance. Someday it's probably going to have to get moved. Maybe the garage is too close to the property line. Maybe you want to build a big triple garage at the back of the property. Maybe you need to talk with the city and see if that is too much lot coverage for that particular property. How do you know how big the property is? Well, the tax record and the RPR will show the size of the property. The survey will show boundaries. So you need to know these things. Do your diligence before you write an offer. Number 2, poorly written contracts. My, oh my, oh my. So this thing is 6 pages with a lot of fine print, and that's just the base purchase contract. There can be addendums and amendments and Schedule A's attached and RPRs attached and all kinds of things. Make sure this is written properly and the way you intend before you sign the DocuSign and send the offer over to the other party. Read it before you go shopping for a home and before you list your home. Read this 6 pages, and if there's anything in here you do not understand, your realtor can explain it to you. Put yourself to sleep at night if you got to. Read this. That's all I'm going to say about purchase contracts. They're not being written correctly. Over-reliance on texting. I know my dear, dear, dear millennials love texting, but before you send an offer over to the listing agent and before your listing agent receives and negotiates on an offer received on your property, the 2 realtors need to talk. They need to talk, they need to present, and they need to qualify and explain what's going on with their party. And I talked more about this in my offer presentation video a couple of weeks ago. Please watch it. Too much texting, not enough meaningful conversation. This is big stuff that's happening here when people are buying and selling homes. There needs to be meaningful conversation between the 2 realtors. Number 4, undocumented counteroffers. Too much texting still. So let's give you a scenario. We receive an offer on the house. We're working on that offer. We're negotiating with the other party. The other party says, "Can I send you a counter offer by text?" And my answer is, no, you cannot. And here's why. If a second party comes to the table with a written signed offer, the existing text negotiation doesn't count. The Alberta Statute of Fraud says that purchase contracts for real estate must be signed and in writing. Verbal offers and text offers and handshakes and a wink don't count in a negotiation, and they are not legally binding. Too much texting, y'all. I feel like I could make 5 videos about this topic. Too much texting. Too much, hey, just send over the DocuSign and we'll be done. Do you even know what you're signing? Too much texting, over-reliance on digital, not enough meaningful conversation, not enough diligence in writing. Last one, focusing only on price in a real estate negotiation often causes a win-lose situation for both parties. One party's going to lose and one party's going to feel like they won, except, again, this purchase contract is 6 pages long and it has a lot of interesting stuff in it that you can negotiate on. So maybe you can give a little on price, or maybe you can get a little more on price if you have some tradable options in the purchase contract. I call them tradable options because price is just one thing. It's very important, but it's just one thing. Maybe you can negotiate on the possession date. Maybe you can make trade-offs around the condition dates. Maybe you can make trade-offs around what the buyer or seller are willing to accept in the terms. Maybe you need to do a little bit of horse trading because there's problems with the RPR. Remember my first point about diligence on the property. So those are just some of the most common mistakes and pitfalls I'm seeing in real estate negotiations in 2025. It's really getting sloppy out there, and it's costing home buyers and home sellers when this kind of diligence isn't done. Everybody just needs to slow their roll, take their time, and think about all their options available to them. And a good realtor can advise you on that. If you have any questions at all, give me a call or shoot me a text, 403-382-7335. Look me up at carrieflatlaw.com. And you know the drill. Like or subscribe to my channels on Facebook and YouTube. And I will see you for the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.